Oh my God, you did not just say that. He knew a 10-year-old to be good looking. What are you talking about? What is grooming?
It's where you're like uh sweet talking somebody.
No. Do you think it would be wrong for a 50-year-old man to go up to a fifth grader and say they're going to be dating them in 10 years?
No. What is wrong with you? You're making a crisis out of nothing.
Would you vote for someone who released violent criminals into the country purposely?
What kind of violent criminals?
Does it matter?
It kind of depends. Are you talking about January 6th?
Why would that matter?
Because that's what Democrats are like talking about right now.
But why would that matter if I was?
Because
Are you
Trump is
saying it's only okay if it were January 6th violent criminals?
well, like it just barely happened. Trump released all the January Sixers. Unless you were too violent, then you're gonna stay there in prison.
Okay, so he literally pardoned people who pled guilty and admitted to violently assaulting police officers on January 6th.
Okay. All right. So, how many police officers were assaulted on January 6th? Can you name them?
I think it's like 100 and, hold on. I need to get the specific number. Yeah, 140 were injured.
What was the worst injury?
I mean, does this matter?
It doesn't matter
I
because
don't know if
traumatic stress.
I don't know if I could qualify the worst injury.
Stress doesn't count.
What?
Stress doesn't count.
What? I'm referencing people who got violently assaulted. What? That's not stress.
Well, today's
Also, do you think
assault is not
PTSD
stress.
is relevant to reference?
Yes.
If there are officers that had PTSD and then unalived themselves because of the violence that they had to go through on January 6th, would you count those as deaths related to January 6th?
Mm, I mean, that's her job. Mayor Bowser, she didn't provide
That's okay. So
necessary
to clarify,
security.
some of the police officers that were violently assaulted, that unalived themselves because of the pain they went through, the people attacking them, coming after them and their families. You're telling me those people. What about them? Are are you telling me that they didn't die because of January 6th? Are you telling me
No,
that that's their fault? Is that what you're telling me?
it's not their fault.
Are you
It's not
telling
their
me it's
fault.
just their job so you don't care that they got killed?
So, no, I don't agree with aggressive people, right? So, like, if you're attacking police officers, no, I don't agree with that.
No,
But, like,
would you
the
vote for
after
someone
effects,
who like intentionally released violent criminals into the country who beat police officers?
no.
No. Okay, Donald Trump did release people into the country who beat police officers.
Yeah, on January 6th. I already know you're trying to flip it.
Okay, but you just conceded.
No, I didn't.
You said you wouldn't vote for someone who released violent criminals in the country who beat police officers. I gave you an example of Donald Trump releasing people intentionally into the country who beat police officers, and now you're okay with it because it's Donald Trump
Okay,
doing it.
okay. Here's this. So, like, assault of a police officer, how many years for assault is the average assault case?
Wait, does that wait? So are you saying that these violent offenders who beat
Come
police
on,
officers
hold up.
should be
I'm asking
released?
you a question.
Are you
Come
argue?
on, Parker.
I don't know the average time that someone
Parker,
who assaults a police
there's an
officer is in
average
prison.
time for assault. You go to jail,
I
yes.
don't know. Go
You
tell
go to
me. You
jail,
tell me. I don't know.
but you don't go to prison for life.
You don't go to prison for life for beating cops.
No, you don't. I'm
You
sorry.
don't go to prison for a decade for beating cops or 5 years for beating cops.
Depends how much of a repeat offender you are.
Okay, so you don't want them to be in prison for a long period of time. You
I don't want them to be in prison for
you
life.
want violent criminals to be roaming free on the streets.
Uh, they have to serve their time,
How long do you think they
obviously.
should serve?
So, okay, so you have to find the average assault case, right?
Ian, how long do you think they should?
In my opinion,
Regardless of your knowledge of them,
okay,
how long do you
all
think
right,
they should?
2 to 3 years,
2 to 3 years?
but only if they're
Really?
a
So you think after 3 years, someone who beat a police officer should be able to like roam free?
yeah, yes.
You have no issue with that? So You want people who
How long?
3
How
years
long do you
ago.
want them to go to jail? Look, how long do you want them to go to jail?
Yeah, the people who beat police officers on January 6th, who are violent criminals pardoned by Donald Trump, I think those people should be in prison for at least a decade. You should not be able to literally
10
go.
years?
Yes, absolutely. At least
What about PDF files? What about PDF files?
life. If you have a child, you should be prison for life.
Yes, me. I agree with that.
I have a question. Would you vote for someone who said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years?
In 10 years. Okay, so you're going based off the fact Trump's like early comments when he was young.
When he was
Uh,
young, he was like 50 years
no,
old.
I wouldn't say that. In my opinion, I wouldn't say that, but I do know why he said it because he knows like they're gonna be good looking, if that makes sense.
Oh my God, you did not just say that. He knew a 10-year-old to be good looking. What are you talking about?
Okay, so for like
Wait, no, seriously,
example.
dude, what are you talking about?
Okay, don't
You think
play
that's
the
okay?
victim.
You think that's okay for him to say that about a 10-year-old?
That doesn't make him a PDF file though.
That he thinks a 10-year-old is going to be attractive in 10 years? What?
Mm,
What?
a
Are you
10-year-old,
okay?
a
Are you
10-year-old.
okay? Are you
Look,
okay? Do you
hold up,
let
a
me can I
10-year-old.
ask you a question? Do you know what grooming
Hold
is?
up, hold up,
Do
hold
you
up.
know
A
what
10-year-old.
grooming is?
Yes, I do know what grooming is.
Okay, what is grooming?
It's where you're like uh sweet talking somebody
No.
to the point where they're you can sweet talk a or groom
No,
like
that's not what grooming
an
is. That
adult.
that is not even
You can
close. What'd you just say?
groom an adult.
Yeah, because you literally did it as a child, right? Like you as a child, you
No,
groomed them until they were
you
an
can be
adult.
groomed as an adult. No, you can be groomed as an adult.
What sense are you using the term?
Groomed? Are you talking about like PDF files still?
Do you think grooming a child is pedophilic?
Yes.
Okay, well, is Donald Trump engaging in a statement that you would consider grooming? Sarah, thank you for the $5.
No.
Thank you so much. No? So saying you would date a
No.
10-year-old girl in 10 years because you think that that girl is going to be attractive in 10 years, right? You don't think that's a statement that is associated with grooming children.
No, he said that as a comment. Like that was a compliment. Like he knew she was gonna be good looking. That was a compliment. It's a compliment. It's not like
I have a question. If Donald Trump went up
I don't
to
know.
your 10-year-old
It's hard to
daughter,
tell you.
if Donald Trump went up to your 10-year-old daughter and said he would be dating her in 10 years, would you have still voted for him?
I would have been like, okay, Donald Trump, why are you telling my daughter she's 10 years old and you're telling her she's gonna be good in 10 years? I already know for a fact she's gonna be good looking in 10 years because she's not ugly. Guarantee you that.
So you
But
would vote for him still, even though he said he would date your 10-year-old daughter in 10 years?
would he actually? Probably not.
I'm just asking you the question. Would you vote
He
for him?
wouldn't though. He was just giving a
In that
compliment.
context, would you vote for him? Abigail, thank you for the dollar.
He's not a PDF file.
Can you answer my question?
If he was an actual PDF
would
file,
you still vote for him in that context?
no.
Okay. If you wouldn't vote for him in that context, right? Well, then it is the case that why would you vote for him if it was some other 10-year-old?
Some other 10-year-old. Well, okay. Can you tell me this 10-year-old?
Does it matter who the 10-year-old is? What the is wrong with you?
Yes, it does. No, what is wrong with you? You're making a crisis out of nothing. Yeah.
If Donald Trump said he would date your 10-year-old daughter in 10 years, would you consider that a comment?
No.
Why not?
But I wouldn't let my daughter date him.
Why wouldn't you consider that a pedophilic comment?
Because she has her own choices. Like in 10 years, she can
As a 10-year-old?
choose if she wants to date Donald Trump
Right,
at
but you're
78
talking
years
about a
old.
10-year-old girl.
But in 10 years, that's when he decides to date her. right?
You
So
disgusting
he has
dude.
the
What are you
choice.
talking about?
She literally has the choice when she's 20 years old to date a 78-year-old man,
So
right?
you don't think it's wrong? Wait, I have a question. Do you think it would be wrong for a 50-year-old man to go up to a fifth grader and say they're going to be dating them in 10 years?
No, no.
Well, that's a 10-year-old, you moron.
Don't call me a moron. All right. No, I'm against
Then don't say
PDF
something
5.
stupid. No, you're not,
What
dude.
you
You
said was
literally,
dumb.
you just defended a pedophilic comment.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Saying
No, I
you will
didn't.
date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years is absolutely and unequivocally a pedophilic comment.
To your perspective, yes.
And practically everyone in the chat. Okay, there's over 7,000, almost 8,000 people that probably agree with that. Okay, I doubt there's practically anyone in this live that disputes that. Like that's totally a pedophilic comment to say that you dated 10-year-old girl in 10
Okay,
years.
we're supposed to be talking
If you
about
were walking
life.
down the street with your 10-year-old daughter and some random 50-year-old man comes up to your daughter and says he's going to be dating her in 10
Oh,
years,
yes.
one, you're going to think that's
Okay.
creepy. Two, you're going to think that they're sexualizing your daughter. And three, you're going to think that's
Yes.
pedophilic. The only reason
A
you don't think
random
it's
person.
pedophilic, the only reason you don't consider it sexualizing, and the only reason you don't consider it bad is because Orange fucking maniac, you voted for him and you're in his cult. That's the only reason. He is an insane lunatic that engaged
No,
in a pedophilic comment that you're now defending after literally pardoning people who pled guilty and admitted to
I'm
violently
defending
beating
it. I'm
cops,
defending
right?
it.
Who also was held civilly liable, bragged about walking in the changing rooms of girls' Miss
Oh
Teen USA
God,
because he quote unquote
Eugene
owns the place to
Carroll.
inspect
We
them
can talk
without their
about Eugene
consent.
Carroll.
Go ahead. Can you name where she was assaulted? Like what store?
Did you
What
read
store was
the
E. Jean Carroll assaulted in?
did you read the
What
docket?
store was E. Jean Carroll assaulted in?
What store?
Yes.
I don't know.
You don't know. What year was E. Jean Carroll assaulted in?
In like the 80s?
No. 1996. You don't know anything
Oh,
about the
so
case. What are you talking about? Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Make sure to check out some of the other videos that I posted on my channel. Plus, you can watch my daily live streams where I debate people every single day on this YouTube channel. Just make sure to subscribe and like the video if you have not already. And have a fantastic day, everyone.